What's up, lady bots and gentle droids? I am Dylan, the TechnoGiz guy, and today we're looking at this little receiver that's built on an Arduino. How are you lovely ladies and gentlemen doing? Today we're looking at this little product that I picked up on Banggood. This was like 20 bucks. So what this is this is the ATS-20 Plus. What it is it's an Arduino Nano based computer, and it's basically just a little tiny software-defined radio receiver, but the computer is inside. It's an Arduino. So it's got a very tiny little screen here, this little OLED screen, some buttons and a rotary knob that's also a button. On the back here, you have your antenna port, which is a BNC. You have a headphone jack. You have a USB to download, which the download is for the Arduino, so you can flash it with firmware, update it, and stuff like that. Then there's a USB-C charger. All that does is charge the little tiny lithium-ion battery. There's also two little switches on the back here. One is the power switch, off and on, and the other one is FM/AM sideband. So there's a switch that you have to use when you're switching between AM/sideband modes or FM when you're up in the, FM broadcast space. Something I thought was really cool about this little radio is it will decode the RDS from FM radio stations. So as long as you're receiving the station well enough to actually hear the little signal that is embedded, just like your car stereo will pull whatever the data is for artist, track name, and usually the station information, this little guy will also pull that RDS info if it's able to. Because this is a computer, you can modify it. So I use that little download port, and I'm not going to cover that in this video, but I use that little download port and I was able to flash the firmware on here very easily to a custom firmware that some gentleman made that had a lot better, we'll call it. It didn't have any extra features, but it had some better features, better implementation of features that already existed, is a good way of putting it. It did change how the buttons operate, so some of my button labels don't exactly work right, but once you figure out what the buttons do in the custom OS, it's not that bad. It does have a little tiny speaker in the top. In my opinion, the speaker does not sound bad. It's not terrible. It's not super great either, but for 20 bucks, you're getting a little tiny software-defined radio. Now, yes, for 20 bucks, you could also get an RTL-SDR V4, 20 to 30 bucks, I think. And this is a far superior radio receiver in every way. However, what this is not is self-contained. You need a computer or Android tablet or some way of interfacing to this. All this is the radio receiver. This is not the interface to it. So you still have to lug, an adapter around if you want to use your phone, or an Android tablet or something, you need an adapter. Or then you have to lug around a Pi or a computer and then a power supply, and then you have to worry about all that. This little guy has a battery. It's self-contained. I can turn it on here, and it'll just turn on. So we're gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna go outside and use this little whip antenna that it came with and kind of see how it does. Then we're gonna hook it up to the big antenna and see how it does on that.
And don't use the cheapest paint you can find, or you'll have to paint again soon.
.org/Bennett's Buddies, or just go to pspca.org. It's right on the homepage, right?
On our homepage, yep.
All right, we're looking for you, the first person to donate $250.
All right, so obviously it works fine for FM. So let's see if with this stock antenna we can go down to the long wave. Let's see if we can pick anything up here. All right, so here I'm not seeing anything on the long wave, so we're going to go to the medium wave. Okay, so we're down here at the absolute bottom that you can get to in the shortwave spectrum, so that's 1.7 megahertz. And then if we back out of it, looks like the higher end of that spectrum for shortwave is 30 megahertz. I know a lot of my B-roll I had like 20 meters going on. Now, I don't actually expect that this antenna is going to be able to pick anything up down this low. It's a pretty small antenna, and we're down in the 160 meter ham space right now. I mean, this is, you need big wires for this area. We would be lucky to hear anything on this antenna on 40 meters right now, which is the 7 megahertz band space. The idea with this is that it's a nice little shortwave radio, so in emergencies and disaster, plus if you hook this up to a longer antenna, you'll get more stations. Shortwave stations around the world, depending on where you're located and what you can hear with a wire, you will hear emergency broadcasts, you will hear news, you'll hear propaganda, you will hear so many different things on shortwave. It's amazing. I say that as I'm not hearing anything on shortwave. Again, this antenna is really, really short for these frequencies. Let's jump up a little bit. Let's see if I can hear anything at all on 7 megahertz, which is the 40 meter ham space for amateur radio, at least in the US. Yeah, I can't even hear anything at all on 40. So here's a really good test. Right now I am tuned to 14075, which is the 20 meter FT8 frequency. I should be able to hear digital noises, and I can very faintly hear them in the static. But they're getting drowned out by the squelch. If I had like an LNA or a preamp or some kind, I'd probably be able to pull them out, but this antenna is just too short to hear that kind of signal. Okay, so we can at least hear stuff, so we know it's working. It's just the antenna is just not long enough. Let's go up a little higher through the band here. So we're down here in the long wave stuff, 100 kilohertz space. I can hear some things, but they're not coming in real good. So I don't know what this is. It's the Washington something radio network, but it's on 441 kilohertz. It looks like.
Severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission in 1 year, based on areas visually.
Okay, so other than faint background stuff, I'm not really hearing much on the long wave, even on the big antenna down here in my office. Alright, we're going to jump down here to 3.5 megahertz, which is the 80 meter ham space. See what we can hear. So voice on 80 meters is 3.6 megahertz to 4 megahertz. I hear some Morse code.
From the union, but the bottom line is that is a good person to work for. I think Trump's a good person to work for. If you work in one of his buildings and you're a janitor or a handyman or something, but if you're a electrical contractor, like the guy that did the work in the post office that he just sold, is still. he made the electrical contractor all of these change orders and everything, and he okayed everything. He wanted this done on a certain date, and it was 200 I don't know, was it 200,000 million? I don't remember the figure. It was a crazy amount of money over budget, and Trump just kept on signing it, and it'll come to the end.
Oh boy. I love hearing random political discussions. I love hearing random political discussions on 80 meters at 7 o'clock at night.
And I would imagine that their salary comes from the state level, probably funded by the Fed. I was never part of that, full-time guardsman, although I know there was a lot of cadre, and not many officers were full-time. Just a few, you know, the ones up in the top end, colonel level and higher. But yeah, National Guard is actually a militia unit, an organized militia. The ones that you may be thinking of are, you know, more like the disorganized ones, and that would be more like your farmers, your people who want to meet in the woods and train and arm themselves. That's another form of militia, but it...
You rinse it and, with a sponge and then put some more oil on it.
Right.
Well, you're the go-to cast iron guy.
I would love to get some good quality stainless steel stuff, but man, it's expensive.
I have all clad.
Yeah. Is it coated?
No, it's steel. It's stainless steel.
Yeah, I tried that. I find that very similar to cast iron. I find it gets hot. It sticks.
Well, you have to put oil in there for sure.
Oh, geez.
You have to put oil in there for sure, and then you've got to get the fond off by deglazing the pan, and that actually adds more flavor to the food.
Yeah. Especially if you're using some wine.
Okay, so that was the radio. It's a cheap little thing, and I wish it had some more capability, but for the price that I got it for, it's a really nice little, shortwave, medium wave, long wave, and FM radio receiver. Definitely something you could pick up and throw in like a backpack with either the stock antenna or like a piece of wire to kind of have a better time of getting those longer bands. All you'd have to do is throw this into a bag and just kind of let it sit there, and it's ready to go whenever you need it. It'll, it has that little battery. You can plug it in directly to power. It's a very simple device. It's simple to modify the firmware on here. Really easy to take it apart and do stuff to it if you wanted to. Quite frankly, this is what like emergency equipment should be. It should be simple, but we're in the technological age where as much as we need things to be simple still, we have better ways of doing them. So like we have an Arduino that has a little chip on it that can receive RF, and it does it really well. It's not as advanced in filtering as something like one of my ICOM radios, or like even something like an RTL-SDR. If you want an actually like really good receiver, I would get an RTL-SDR V4 or an SDRplay or Hack RF. Right, if you want a good SDR, buy a good SDR. But if you want a nice, cheap little shortwave radio that you can throw in a bag or a pocket and kind of take on a hike with you, or leave in your disaster bag if that's your thing, yeah, this thing's really cool. I've had some fun playing with it. I don't listen to the radio a whole lot, and so around me during the day, there's only a handful of shortwave stations that I can hear. At nighttime, I can hear a lot more, and where I live, there's really we have those AM radio alerts for emergencies, but by the time an emergency happens, I probably will already know what's going on, unless that emergency instantly knocks out cell phones. Anyway, like I said, these are really cool. It's nice to have a little shortwave radio, and this thing it's so tiny. It's so little. The only thing I would say is I really wish it could do VHF, UHF ham bands for receive. It would also be really cool if it could at least do the pager receiver. So here where I live, my county still uses voice pagers to broadcast. So you can actually put any radio onto the broadcast frequency and you can hear the fire and EMS for the entire county get dispatched. And it's really nice. You can't do that as well for the police. Their dispatch has gone to P25 and all of the fire talk groups are P25, which can be decoded, but not with any little kind of radio. It'd be really cool if this could cover VHF and UHF, so that way this could also act as like a little scanner, because a lot of counties still have the older dispatch, at least, over voice. Okay, so good product. It has some room to grow, but it was like 25 bucks, so there's a link in the description if you want to pick one up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Let me know what you think if you're a returning viewer of the quality. I got a new camera and I got a new microphone system. The old mic system was giving me problems all the time where I was losing audio or it would die on me in the middle of a recording even though it was fully charged. So it has been replaced. So I got a really nice mic system and I've been testing it and I like it. And then also, because I was really tired of using my phone as my camera, I had invested in a camera. So I hope you guys like it. So far, I like using the camera. It's really, really nice. But yeah, so I'm also changing some things. Not going into too much detail on that right now, but some things are going to be changing around the channel. So nothing major, but I'm hoping more of my personality will get to show through to this channel. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I am Dylan, the Technicus Guy, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it peaceful.